Hi, Benjamin's Bees here again to show you a few techniques we use in keeping honeybees. Today, it's all about inspecting the hive.
We are making this video to show you the basic techniques that we use to productively and safely inspect a honeybee colony. You will recall from our previous video that the worker bee takes 21 days to develop from an egg laid by the queen. Once the egg is laid, there are 3 distinct stages of development. The beekeeper needs to be able to identify those stages during an inspection and estimate the total number in order to chart the future growth of the colony and to detect any issues that could have occurred in the last 21 days.
The queen is capable of laying 2,200 eggs in a single day. The weight of the eggs laid is more than her body weight. There are 3 stages of development. First, the egg. It all starts with the queen laying 1 egg into a beeswax cell. The egg looks like a grain of rice, but much smaller. After 3 days, the eggs will develop into a small larva, which will represent the next stage. The larva is the second stage of development, which we will refer to as open brood. The larva will continue to grow in the open or uncovered beeswax cell for 5 days until the nurse bees cover the cell with a beeswax cap. The final stage is closed brood. Once the cell is covered, the larva finishes developing, and the whole process ends when the fully formed worker bee chews her way out of the cell and immediately gets to work. This stage lasts 13 days.
Why is this important? We will use a simple example to help you understand how recognizing brood development helps colony management. I will talk about this colony of 40,000 honeybees. This colony should have an average of 1,000 worker bees die every day, since their life expectancy is only 40 days. A larger colony will lose more than 1,000, and a smaller colony will lose fewer. This colony will need the queen to lay 1,000 eggs a day, every day, to maintain the colony's population of 40,000. If the colony is to expand, she will need to lay more.
Don't forget, the worker bee lives only 40 days, so a colony of 40,000 honeybees will lose 1,000 worker bees every day due to old age or natural attrition.
If the queen is laying 1,000 eggs a day, you should see 3,000 eggs, since the egg stage lasts 3 days. 5,000 open brood cells full of larvae, since the open brood stage lasts 5 days, and 13,000 closed brood cells, since the closed brood lasts 13 days. These numbers will be doubled if the queen is laying her full capacity of 2,200 eggs a day.
We know what you're thinking. How am I supposed to count that much brood?
We have a trick to help you with this. As we previously discussed in our video about the Langstroth hive, the wooden boxes come with removable wooden frames. The most common size of boxes and frames are 6 inches, known as a medium, and 9 inches, known as deeps. The number of hexagon cells on a deep frame is approximately 7,000. A medium frame has approximately 4,500 cells. Knowing this will help you obtain an approximate number of developing bees in your hive. Here's an example. If you see 1 medium frame of eggs in your hive, then your hive has 4,500 eggs. And since the egg stage lasts for 3 days, your queen was laying 1,500 eggs a day. And in 21 days, you should expect to see 1,500 worker bees emerge each day for 3 days.
Another technique for colony management is swarm prevention. As we stated in our other video series, honeybees are a superorganism, so when they set out to make another colony of bees, they start by making new queens. It all starts with the worker bees building a beeswax queen cup. Worker bees build these small cells that face downward instead of horizontally because the queen is so much larger and requires a specially sized cell. The current queen will lay an egg inside of the cup, and then once the egg turns into open brood, it is fed a diet of royal jelly. The royal jelly causes the queen to develop working ovaries so that she can lay eggs and mate with drones. The cell is capped and the queen hatches out on day 16. Oddly enough, the queen takes only 16 days to develop and can live up to 8 years, compared to the worker bee, who develops in 21 days but whose life expectancy is only 40 days, all because of royal jelly.
Just prior to the new queen emerging, the current queen leaves the hive with up to 10,000 worker bees. She lands nearby and scout bees will be sent out in search of a new home. And this is called swarming. But don't worry, there are still 30,000 worker bees left in the hive to help when the new queen emerges. As a beekeeper, you not only lose the worker bees, but you also lose about 1 week of productive queen laying while the new, virgin queen emerges from her cell and goes on her once-in-a-lifetime mating flight. Recently, as I was inspecting a hive, I observed a break in the brood cycle. During the inspection, I observed 2,000 to 3,000 eggs, but no open brood and very little closed brood. I also noticed fewer bees inside of the hive. I estimated a 7 to 10 day break in the brood cycle and observed numerous capped and uncapped queen cells. I removed the queen cells to prevent future swarming in the hive. This is what a swarm looks like. The queen has left the hive with 10,000 worker bees and has landed here in search of a new home. We as beekeepers don't want to lose the 10,000 worker bees or the productive queen, so we will provide them with extra equipment in hopes of keeping them here at the bee yard. Putting a frame nearby just entices them. Sarah simply has to hold the beeswax honeycomb up against the swarm for the bees to recognize its potential and quickly move on to it. Sarah then places the frames full of honeybees into the hive body. Because honeybees require beeswax honeycomb to store food and raise brood, they're likely to stay in the home that we've provided them.
Well, that's inspecting a honeybee colony in a nutshell. We hope you enjoyed it and can use it in your bee yard.
But don't get too caught up in trying to keep the perfect beehive. Just enjoy the process.